Well, that sucked. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't get my video out yesterday because I had to be at work early this morning. Um, so I just thought before I go on my walk, I get some like quick thoughts and takeaways from last night's game. Um, yeah, man, that sucked. I mean, yet again, the defense fails this team. Um, I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers played really good yet again. Um, the offense, we always talk about the offense being the issue for the Steelers this year, or, every year, and it hasn't been that this year. I mean, the offense has really played pretty damn good. I still think they need another wide receiver. I think Aaron Rodgers was all credit to him, but I think I don't feel comfortable relying on Pat Freiermuth all the time. He's a great tight end, but he has a tendency to drop crucial balls. And I think this team needs another wide receiver too. Respect for the DK. He's not George Pickens. And he doesn't have to be George Pickens. But the Steelers, the way they want to throw the ball up to him, yes, he can win some 50-50 balls. But every time you throw to him, there's a really good chance he might not come down with it. With George, it seemed like 50-50 balls were 100 balls with him. He make these crazy acrobatic catches. If the ball was thrown a little bit like to the inside or a little bit over him, he climbs the ladder for it. With DK, he's a big hulking presence, but 50-50 balls is not the best way to utilize DK Metcalf. You have to utilize him by getting him in space, slant routes, get yards after the catch. He's the leading receiver in the NFL in yards after the catch. Like, why aren't we using more stuff like that? Like the Vikings game, I was really happy with that because they were getting DK the ball over the middle. Like, nobody wants to tackle him. Like, when he gets a full head of steam, nobody wants to tackle him. Like, why aren't we doing that more? Why are we throwing it up? Like DK is just George Pickens over there. He's not George Pickens. Quit throwing 50-50 balls. Like, I get not throwing over the middle, but there are multiple times where the Steelers could potentially throw the ball in a way that DK can get ahead of steam, and they just don't do it. So I think that's frustrating. But overall, very happy with this offense. Scored 31 points. Again this season. Well, over 30 again. Aaron Rodgers' first pick was pretty bad. Just trying to force it, in my opinion. But the second one, that was not his fault. That should not have been an interception. But it was. But I think Aaron really redeemed himself, and he's starting to move really well in that pocket. And that's nice to see. Everybody was talking about how Aaron, he isn't mobile and he can't move as well. That might be he doesn't move as well because he's not 20 years old, obviously. But for his age, he's moving pretty nicely back there. And I know it's against the Bengals defense. I get that, but I'm actually pretty impressed with this offensive line. I mean, some of the throws Aaron had to make, the offensive line had to hold up, man. It had to hold up. I know it's easy without, Travion Henderson on the other side. No, Trey Henderson, my bad. Trey Henderson on the other side. But overall, pretty impressed with the Steelers' offensive line. Offense as a whole, man, has not been the issue for this team. The reason why I'm talking about the offense is because I got a lot to say about the defense. The defense, yet again, fails this team. And I don't know how many times we're going to have to say it this season. First, it was against the Jets. We kind of gave them a little pass because Jalen Ramsey laid the wood on Garrett Wilson for the, game-winning tackle pretty much. And then they show up big time against the Patriots. So we kind of give them a little credit there. But overall, this game was probably the worst defensive thing. It reminded me of the freaking playoff game against the Ravens last year. I mean, my goodness. We do absolutely nothing on defense for multiple quarters. I think maybe 3 stops we had. Maybe 3. But I wasn't impressed. Can't leave Jamar Chase open. Jalen Ramsey. We paid you this money for you to come to Pittsburgh, not to be a lockdown corner, to kind of be the the Swiss Army knife of the defense to move around. So when people see him, they ain't gonna throw the ball towards him. I mean, my goodness, man, Joe Flacco chucking balls up, chucking across the field. I mean, it was on Ramsey, it was on Slay, it was on Joey Porter, and I haven't really been impressed with Slay this year. I think there may have been a reason why the Eagles let him go. He just has not done much this year, other than get pretty much cooked. Joey Porter, I mean, some of the ref calls, and I'll get into that too, but Joey Porter, like, too handsy still. I mean, every time you look at 24 on the field, flag on the field. I'm sick of it. Like, I don't know who you got to be. I don't know who you met with this offseason to limit the issues. They clearly have not worked, man. And it's really frustrating. If you don't win the turnover battle, which we didn't do, which was my key to victory, you got to win the turnover battle. We didn't do that. The defense hasn't gotten a takeaway since TJ Watt, getting an interception in Dublin. Unacceptable. It's unacceptable because they had multiple opportunities. Last game and this game. Just couldn't do it. So we need to see the splash plays from the defense. I was sick watching it. I mean, I watched it maybe I watched it till to the end of the first quarter. And by the end of that, I'm just like, nah, man, this is going to end badly. You're up 10-0. This is the only thing I will knock on this offense. Aaron Rodgers, you got, and Jalen Warren, and Zach Frazier. The offense as a whole, I should say, really needs to, I know it's loud, you're in a road stadium, I get all that, but you got to be on the same page. Jalen Warren, it's not a flea flicker, man. Because when I saw that play, I thought they were doing a flea flicker, and I got so mad. I'm like, why are we trying to be too cute on offense now? Just because we're up. This isn't a bad football team. The Bengals obviously aren't a good football team, but they're not horrible either. But yeah, they got to get on the same page because, I don't know what the heck Jalen Warren thought it was going to be, but can't be trying to do a flea flicker. But anyway, that's kind of minimal for me. But what I'm really upset about is that 4th and 1, we go for a tush push. And my goodness, man, okay, the guard moved early. Okay, that's fine. But I remember a couple weeks ago when I'm watching the Giants and Eagles play, and the Eagles ran that play how many times? And all of the offensive linemen moved, and it was not called. I'm getting really upset because it's like, if you're going to call it on one team, call it on the Eagles too. Call it on anyone that does it. Quit picking and choosing games to make these calls. That's why people have opinions about the NFL officiating. It's been terrible this year. I was not impressed with the officiating crew at all last night. It's just really frustrating. But anyway, get back to this defense. Captain Cam, where were you at? You wanted all this money, but you didn't really do much last night. Keanu Benton, didn't really hear his name. Jalen Ramsey, didn't hear his name unless they were showing him on the highlight giving up a touchdown to Jamar Chase. Joey Porter didn't really do much. TJ Watt had 1 sack, and that's really it. Alex Highsmith, non-factor. Nick Herbig, non-factor. Patrick Queen just didn't look that great last night. And then I don't even know why we're putting Chuck Clark out there. That man, you have Jabril Peppers, man. Jabril, when he came in against the Patriots, this team looked a lot better. And I don't understand why we're playing freaking Chuck Clark out there at strong safety. You can't convince me, Mike Tomlin, that Chuck Clark is better than Jabril Peppers. If so, cut Jabril Peppers. Let him go. But that's not the case. And I know that's not the case. If anyone should get cut, it should be Chuck Clark. He's not that good. But yeah, man, it's frustrating. But, it's all I heard this whole training camp is how the defense was different, how it's going to be historic. And it's just not been that this year. It's been historically bad this year. It just hasn't been great, man. The 2 games that they had good games against, Carson Wentz, a backup quarterback, and then Cleveland Browns. I mean, they ain't moving the football on anyone. So, I mean, I haven't really seen a game where a defensive game that I'm really impressed by. Because last night, they should have won the game, and they didn't. And there's multiple reasons. But like I said, when your offense puts up 31 points, unacceptable for the defense to not win the game. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable, man. And I respect Mike Tomlin. I like Mike Tomlin. But I don't want to hear you get up to the podium and sit there and be like, well, that's a bad product we put out there today. That's not good. We didn't execute. Dude, it just seems like you always say that after a loss. Like, respectfully. Like, you say you don't want to live in your fears, but every time there's a Thursday night game or the playoffs, that's all we do is be in our fears, quote unquote. It's frustrating as a fan to watch this team go out on Thursday night or in the playoffs. They just don't show up. And like I said, this whole season, the offense has showed up for the most part, but the defense, not so much. Like, I want you to hear Mike Tomlin hold his players accountable. Like, these players that are getting paid so much money right now are not being held accountable, in my opinion, at all. Like, you should feel disgusted having 31 points, over 30 points hung on your head by a Cincinnati's team that coming into the week wasn't really that good. I mean, Jamar Chase is him, obviously. T. Higgins is him. But, I mean, this team wasn't really that explosive on offense. And Chase Brown, in all due respect to him, I don't know who he is, and we're letting him run all over this Pittsburgh's defense. I mean, where is the pride? Like, where is the grit? Where is everything from the defense? It's like they trotted out on the field and said, yeah, I'm on the field. I'm going to go through the motions. I'm going to go through the motions. I'm tired of going through the freaking motions, man. Like, when are we actually going to show up, play hard-nosed football? When are we going to do that? Because you got the Green Bay Packers, which I haven't been impressed with them, next Sunday. But, that's a primetime game, too. I mean, are we going to be embarrassed then, too? But, I actually think we could win that game. But then you got Indy. Who knows? I mean, I don't really know who Indy is yet. I mean, Indy has a good record, but, I haven't really dove into their film or nothing like that. And then you got the Chargers. And the Chargers, they'll have Joe Alt back. It's like, man, I don't even know what to say at this point. It's like, these are winnable games. And I think that's why Steelers fans are so frustrated. These are winnable games. They didn't have Trey Henderson. They didn't have him. And, the offense did its job last night for the most part. The defense, however, man, just utterly embarrassing. I mean, having Joe Flacco pull one on you and run for a first down, unacceptable. I mean, that is just sickening to watch. I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson. What are we doing here? Again, like I said, this defense has just not been good. And I want Mike Tomlin to get up at the podium and hold these players accountable. They get paid big money to go out and make these plays. Aaron Rodgers, even after how bad this defense was last night, gives this team one last chance to get a stop, and they couldn't do it. And on that drive, Jamar Chase was running wide open. I mean, Jalen Ramsey got cooked by him. Darius Slay got cooked. And then at one point, we had Brandon Eccles on him. Why do we have Brandon Eccles on Jamar Chase, if I may ask? What are we doing on defense? That's my question. What are we doing? Because it seems like we're doing a whole lot of nothing. I never would have thought I would say the offense has been the best part about this team this year. I would never have thought that. But it has. The offense has been really good this year. The defense, however, man, needs to really take a good look at themselves. And, you're getting paid all this money to really do absolutely nothing. They haven't done anything this year. They better turn it around quick, man, because you play Green Bay. That's a dang good football team. I think their defense is a little squishy. But you're going to... There's gonna be games, man, where the offense isn't gonna be playing great and the defense has to step up. And if you were to ask me right now if I have faith the defense is gonna step up, I would say no. The defense hasn't stepped up all year. I mean, the splash plays aren't there, and they gotta be there, man. They really do. Like, this defense lives off of splash plays, and they haven't gotten them the past 2 weeks. So I'm hoping that changes against Green Bay. But yeah, man, just utterly just terrible performance by the Steelers defense. Steelers offense played great, but that's the other thing I was going to bring up. Jalen Warren, every time this guy has a good game, we lose. Why? Like, all his hard work is not getting rewarded for because of this damn defense. This defense, in my opinion, should feel ashamed of themselves. And truthfully, they should be taking a separate plane home, because I just don't know how you look at Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Warren and DK Metcalf. Well, DK, he caught like a couple balls, but he didn't really do much. But Pat Freiermuth, I'll say, I don't know how you look at all those guys. I just don't know how you look at all those guys after a loss like this. And I'm putting this loss 100% on the defense. They didn't do any of the things I talked about. Didn't win the turnover battle. Lost that. The penalties were a disaster, even though the refs questionable calls. And then the coach is on Tomlin, man. Like, it just seems like we're okay losing Thursday night games. And that shouldn't be acceptable, man. Like, the Steeler way is to win every game and every year win the Super Bowl. I don't think it's acceptable to try out on Thursday night and almost expecting to lose. Us fans should not be expecting to lose. But it is. It's under Tomlin. It's always been since, and then I've seen a stat like 2009. This has been going to 2009. That's embarrassing. Like, where is the sense of urgency from this team? Like, yeah, you're 4-2, but like, you could be, 4-10. I don't know. I don't think that will happen, but if the defense plays this bad, absolutely we will. But it's just, Mike Tomlin needs to take accountability for some of it, man. It's not on the players not executing, like the offense executing, in my opinion. He brought up how the offense turned the ball over 2 times. Dude, that shouldn't have even mattered. Your defense should be picking your offense up, and they didn't do that. Even though they had 2 turnovers, the offense came to play. The offense should be extremely proud of themselves. The defense, not so much. And I want to see Mike Tomlin hold this defense accountable, man, because it's been bad. It's been terrible. But anyway, I know I rambled on for a little bit. I'm just really upset. I just did not expect that result last night. But yeah, man, I'll see you on the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe. Until then, peace.